Welcome to another Touring the AFC South exclusive content event on YouTube. Yes, another Touring the AFC South pit stop. This time we're stopping in Jacksonville, where the Jacksonville Jaguars have chosen Tampa Bay offensive coordinator Liam Coen as their new head coach. Now he receives a 5-year deal. Of course, it was a very interesting, I would say, week leading up to his hiring. Starting with, of course, the talk of he was pulling his name out of the hat and then signing back with Tampa Bay and to be the offensive coordinator, one of the highest paid offensive coordinators in the NFL. Then comes the information that he snuck off to do the interview and snuck off to Jacksonville and decided he was going to be the head coach. Well, the new deal that I guess he agreed to at Tampa Bay wasn't going to prevent him from signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars as their head coach, just to give you a little heads up, Tampa Bay fans. So, either way it goes, he's the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars now. I just thought it was pretty interesting how it all went down, but, it doesn't bother me one bit or the other. Hey, he did what he felt was best for him. And, I mean, does he really have to answer to Tampa Bay fans for that one? Nah, not really, because, hey, things happen. It is what it is. Such as life and business, you have to do what's best for you. So he receives a 5-year deal. Of course, everyone was talking about his Duval call. Duval. It sounded like, he was getting ready to do like a a show, like basically a Broadway play. It sounded like there was a Broadway play getting ready to break out the way he said Duval to me. Now, of course, I did reach out to my guy, Kyle Nash, student of the game. Of course, he is one half of the Duval Dive. Of course, the other half is Travis Holmes. But here is what he gave me with how Duval should be pronounced. Duval. You see that? That's how it should be. And, of course, he had a few pointers for Liam Coen as well.
So I know that at one point he coached in the Ivy League, so I didn't expect his first Duval to be great, but it's more Duval, little less mystery in the tone there, Coach. Thanks, yeah.
So yeah, Coach, get a little bit more baritone in your voice, get a little bit more grimy with the Duval, man. You can't have the show tunes sound Duval. No, you just can't have that. But, getting to the coaching aspect of it, oh, boy. He's the good part of it. Hey, he's coming from Tampa. Tampa, this is 2 years in a row. Your offensive coordinator has left to get a head coaching gig. Last year it was Dave Canales with the Carolina Panthers, and this year it's Liam Coen going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which, a funny connection with the AFC South that Liam Coen has. 2021, he was the offensive coordinator for the University of Kentucky Wildcats, where he coached Will Levis. Yes, he coached Will Levis his next to last year at the University of Kentucky. He actually that was Will Levis's best year in terms of touchdowns, in terms of 23 touchdowns passing and 9 rushing touchdowns. Of course, he did have 13 interceptions as well, which is a high for him in college also. But just kind of, I guess, giving you a little bit more of the AFC South connection. But to go into the good for him, one season with Tampa Bay, he had basically multiple running back approach. He had 3 different running backs with the rookie. Bucky Irving ended up being the guy at running back eventually as the season went on. That is, just shows that, he definitely plays the hot hand one, and he's like, hey, whoever is getting the results will get the ball. So that's something key to think about in Jacksonville when you got Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne there as well. Something to think on. Also, Baker Mayfield. Now, last year, 2023 was considered, his best year, his breakout year. He had a 1-year deal he signed with the Tampa Bay Bucks, and, they made good and gave him an extension. A brand new deal, I should say, 3-year deal. And he does nothing but come in and has another career year. He had a career high in completion percentage with 71.4%, yards, 4,500 yards thrown for, touchdowns, 41 touchdowns. Now, I did not, when I saw that, that was eye popping to me. 41 touchdowns from Baker Mayfield and 16 interceptions. And, they're all career highs in terms of different things. But, hey, that was something I did capture my attention. Also, you got to remember that he didn't play the entire season with his star wide receivers, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So, that's something to think on as well. And then, of course, he is definitely a coach that is definitely a competition type coach. Whoever is doing whatever needs to be done will be in there, which that is good for Jacksonville because you don't have a particular name or a particular person that you're like, okay, cool, that's my person that's got to get me there. When it comes to the skill position players in terms of the running back, things like that, which there's a lot of talk. There's a little bit of talk about Travis Etienne. I'm pretty sure that will heat up more as the season goes on, but I mean, he's in the same amount of years in the NFL as Mr. Trevor Lawrence is, and he hasn't gotten an extension. So that's something that we'll probably be taking a look at a little bit further down the line, maybe the off season, maybe a little bit further down into the season next year. We'll see what happens there. As far as the bad, for as good as he did there in Tampa Bay, he does not have the same type of offensive line. Now, for those that don't remember, Jacksonville Jaguars, they had issues at both tackles a little bit last year with Anton Harrison at one tackle, which he wasn't quite the same guy he was his rookie season. Yeah, Walker Little at the other tackle, who was a guy that replaced a gentleman that got traded to the Minnesota Vikings that a lot of Jacksonville fans wish they did not pay. I shall leave him nameless at this time. But they have some some proving ground there at the offensive tackle spot. And in the trenches, you got to definitely handle business, especially with an offensive Liam Coen. So that's an issue. Of course, starting center, you've got and then you brought in Mitch Morse from Buffalo, and then you've got Brandon Sheriff, who was there, which who knows he will end up being there to start the season or not. We'll see what happens. And then you have Ezra Cleveland. There we go. If I can spit his name out, Ezra Cleveland. There we go. So you have him at another guard. So there's got to be some upgrades done, some changes to be made with that offensive line. It's got to happen. It just cannot stay the same. Also, you're looking at there's no Godwin and Evans on this team. Godwin and Evans have been doing things for the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they've been one of the most elite wide receiver combos in the NFL for a while now. Now, last year they got banged up a little bit, but still, it doesn't change the level of play and the consistency that both guys bring. With Jacksonville, you have a rookie in Brian Thomas Jr. Of course, he had a great rookie season, 87 receptions, 1,282 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Evan Ingram, another guy that could potentially benefit from this new system with Liam Coen, which we saw the tight end, what Cotham did for tight end for the Tampa Bay Bucks. You don't really have necessarily a slot guy you can depend on. Christian Kirk is battling a lot of injuries last season, and he could come in this season banged up as well. You never know. And then you have Gabe Davis, who I like to say is pretty inconsistent. He can have star games, then he can be quiet as a church mouse. You never know which Gabe Davis will show up. So that's something to think on there. Also, you got to think that he, that one thing also, when you hire an offensive coach, it doesn't necessarily always work out that an offense is the strength of the defense, the strength of the team, or, just a particular specialty coach that side of the ball will be great. You can't always think that's going to happen. Because I'll give you an example, Brian Billick. He won some Super Bowls, but his offenses were never great or imaginative like they were when he was the Minnesota offensive coordinator. Just a thought there. Just throwing some things out there is just to make you think about maybe it isn't all sunshines and rainbows. I've always say that it was definitely a good hire for the Jacksonville Jaguars with the names that were mentioned, because they do ultimately need someone to be there for Trevor Lawrence, which, from all accounts, he was involved in the coaching search or had some input in it. And this gives him a guy to actually help him, I guess, reach another level because, looking at it, the extension is getting ready to kick in for him. And it's a big extension. It will pay him top 5 quarterback money in the NFL. And at this point, he has not performed as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, let alone maybe sometimes a top 10, maybe not even top 15 at times. Just saying. For the level that he was talked about coming to the NFL, he has not performed that way at all. Sure, you can say coaching changes and things like that, but you expect more of a number 1 overall pick and a guy that was tagged as being a generational talent. He simply has not been generational. He has just been a quarterback. So, this is it for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you've got a 5-year contract with your new head coach, a guy that is another offensive-minded head coach like Doug Peterson was before him, and a guy that you had input on reportedly bringing to this team. So it's going to be interesting just to see how things develop in Jacksonville. Jacksonville before the season, some thought they would give competition to the Houston Texans. Obviously, that did not happen, nor did anyone else really give competition besides I would say the Tennessee Titans, who actually beat them one time in the division. But other than that, you really didn't have a ton of competition. So the Jacksonville Jaguars are hoping bringing in Liam Coen will change the direction of this team. He will be reporting directly to Shad Khan, which was the talk about everything before they, of course, fired Trent Baalke and brought in Liam Coen, which, I thought they should have fired Baalke already, a little late on that train, but hey, they got where they needed to go, which is getting him up out the paint. So that's what it is. But it's definitely going to be interesting just to watch and see what happens with these Jacksonville Jaguars and if this move is a move in the right direction for them. My name is Mike Patton. I am the host of Touring the AFC South, but this is the Pit Stop. This is exclusive content for YouTube. You will not see it anywhere else. These can happen at any point in time. There is no schedule for them. Now, as far as the shows, you'll see those shows on other different platforms as well as listening platforms. But you will not see this on any other platform besides YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell. Go ahead and get those notifications each and every time my shows drop. Of course, my name is Mike Patton. I'm the host of Touring the AFC South, and of course, this Pit Stop as well. You can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Mike Patton82. That's MikePatton 82. You can also find me on Blue Sky at the same tag. Instagram and Threads, you can find me at that's THA, not THE, _general_MP. Touring the AFC South is available on all listening platforms. Now, this exclusive content is not, though. Got it. But of course, you can find Touring the AFC South on the Mike Patton Podcast Network, along with this exclusive content. I want to thank you all for stopping through and spending a little time with me as we talk about the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Liam Coen. Thank you for your time. Hey, and if you like what you've watched, share. Thank you. And we're out. Peace.